What's up, everybody? Chewy and Convention today. We're gonna come at you with another Marvel Crisis Protocol video. And this time, we're just gonna talk about like my experiences at Gen Con and me. I got a chance to play in the demo and just give my overall thoughts. I mean, we've been doing the panel to plays for the core set. It looks like that they've been coming out daily. So maybe just by the end of next week, we'll probably have all the characters reviewed and all that stuff, and that'd be really interesting. To get all that, and I had already live reacted to everything. I mean, I didn't get a chance to review all the characters or anything during the live reaction and all that stuff. So I'm gonna do that right now. And we have 3 characters that we can review, and I can give you my experiences at Gen Con playing the demo and all that stuff, and give you my overall, like my actual thoughts on the characters. But anyways, guys, if you guys can do me a favor, like, dislike, comment, subscribe, do all those things y'all gotta do. And of course, I'm always gonna have Marvel Crisis Protocol content. If you guys want to help out the channel, you can also become a member. You know, I'm trying to set up giveaways and all that stuff with the membership. So if you guys want to go ahead and feel free to do that, go ahead. If not, it doesn't bother me at all. So you guys can feel free. Honestly, I just I'd rather you guys comment, like, and all that stuff. So if you guys can just do that, that'd be great. And subscribe, of course. The goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers, so help me get there, guys. All right, so let's get to this. So Gen Con, let's start with that. Gen Con, I had a wonderful time. I was there to mainly play the One Piece card game. I wasn't going to go originally just because, you know, too busy with everything. My buddy of mine got me into 2 One Piece events, so that's the only reason why I went. You know, just to go play in One Piece, and I had a really wonderful time. I had a chance to play at Lucas Oil Stadium, which is really interesting. You know, playing at the Colt Stadium was crazy. I was playing a card game where Peyton Manning threw footballs. Like, it was, like, that just blew my mind. You know, I never thought I would ever do that, and the fact I was able to do that was absolutely fantastic. The convention itself was just massive. There was so much to do. Got a chance to visit a whole bunch of booths. I got a chance to visit Top Mass Games booth to see what was going on there and to see all the figs. And I gotta say, like, the new wave of figs that are coming out all look fantastic. I think my favorite so far out of all the figs that I've seen, definitely Shadow King. I think Shadow King is probably one of the best figs I've ever seen in this game, along with Iceman. Iceman looks fantastic. I mean, they all look fantastic, but if I have to rank them, it's like Shadow King, Iceman, then like everything else, right? Nightcrawler was absolutely fantastic too. So much stuff, like, and it was just a blast. And I definitely will be going back again next year to Gen Con if I can. If not, it is what it is. You know, I'll be at Adepticon this year coming up, you know, and to play Marvel and all that stuff. But Gen Con was an absolute hit. So I had a chance to go by and demo the game Friday around 4 o'clock, and I got a chance to demo with Tim France from the Professional Casual Network. And I gotta say, I was really impressed with the core set and just playing a normal game of MCP with like the typical Secure and Extract, Extremis, and Struggle for the Cube and all that stuff. And just trying out new characters. And the characters I was able to try out was a new Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, and the new Black Widow. Tim was playing with Red Skull, Crossbones, Doc Ock, and I'm missing one. Oh, and Zemo. So he played those 4 characters. I played my 4 characters. And like the big highlight for me was like Steve felt fun to play. His leadership is really good, and we'll get into that down below. I might as well just start talking. So they all felt really good. The one character to me, at least in my 40 minutes of playing the game, that felt good, that felt like, you know, he surprised me the most was actually Spider-Man. When I first looked at his card, I was like, he's just whatever. He's just a Peter Parker, a threat down. And probably, right? But the thing about him is that he pretty much has everything that the old Peter Parker does. But what separates him from the other Peter Parker, well, 2 things. He's a threat down, right? So he's 3 points. This one moves medium versus the other one moves long. So the other Peter Parker moves long, this one moves medium. He does have the rerolls, right? So he can reroll defense dice on dodges and all that stuff if it's a physical or energy attack. He kept that. Still has wall crawler. The one thing that separates the 2, right, is the fact that this Peter Parker has a web swing. This is really good on this Peter Parker. I'm telling you right now, this is really good. I had a turn where Peter, you know, didn't attack, whatever. I pulled off the elusive trigger because of Steve's leadership. I was able to pull that off really easily. So I did the elusive, did like a couple points of damage, and then was able and had enough power to throw a character, because he also has a throw as well, size 3 or less, throw small. I was able to throw Red Skull backwards, do a damage, daze him, and then have enough power to do the web swing and get back to my secure and make Peter Parker safe. Like, the web swing is huge. And I'm telling you right now, this is really, really good on this 3-threat Peter Parker, right? And the throw as well is absolutely fantastic. Nothing feels good. Nothing. I'm telling you right now, pulling off an elusive and then doing all this shenanigans, really good. Really, really good. He really surprised me, and I definitely want to get some more. When the core set comes on, all that stuff, I definitely want to give this character some more time and other affiliations and see what he does. But under Steve, constantly pulling off the elusive, oh, insane. And it was just, he felt the best to me, like, out of all the characters, right? I'm not saying he was better than Cap. I'm not saying he's better than Iron Man. But as I was playing this character, I was like, this guy is just, he has something. But yeah, I mean, he's got a range 3 attack. He can pull off the elusive. He gains a power, so he has a gainer. This other attack is a gainer too for impact webbing. I didn't use this attack at all. I was mostly using swinging strike, and it was pretty damn good. He can push size 2 or less before damage is dealt. Which is really good. So if you daze the character, and then, you know, if you daze the character, you can get the push first, then, you know, daze the character. It's really, really solid. He has gainers, and gainers are really damn good with him. Really, really good stuff. Webhead Wallop, I didn't get a chance to use this attack at all. I probably won't be using this spender, because I think the way to play this Peter Parker is to not get in your opponent's face. I think the way to play this Peter Parker is to play the range game, you know, do the swinging strike, do the impact webbing, and from there, get the hell out of there, right? Like, you want to be able to pull off the throw and, like, get the hell out of there with web swing. I'm telling you, web slinger is really good on this character. Really, really good. And I think that's what's missing with the 4th threat Peter Parker, to be honest with you. With this, like, this is just insane. He has consistency. I was just so impressed with Peter Parker. Like, I can't express that enough. He's absolutely fantastic. And if you're a Web Warriors player, like, you should be putting this character in your roster. I'm not kidding you. Like, put him in your roster and just figure it out. I'm telling you, he's way better than what you think he is. Nothing really changes as an interest side. Everything stays the same. You know, but yeah, so I mean, the spender, like I said, I never got a chance to use it. Let me see what this actually does. After the attack is resolved, you may choose an active terrain feature of size 2 or less, and within 3 of this character, and destroy it. The target could, yeah, this is okay. Like, I would never want to use this at all. I would just use the first 2 attacks and then use the rest of his kit. You'll be fine. You'll see how good he really is. So he's really good. He surprised me the most, and I definitely have to get this as a wallpaper or like background or something like that. I love this picture that they did of Spidey. It's just so classic Spider-Man. It's just so cool, man. Like, really good stuff here. So let's talk about Captain Marvel. And I didn't get a chance to play her at all at the demo. I don't think anybody else had a chance to play her at all. I don't think Ultron or anything like that was there. I think it was just the core, like, Cabal and Avengers in each one. And that's easier to play and use. So let's go over Carol for a second. 4 defenses across the board. 7 health. 5 threat. Size 2, moves medium. She has one of the best defense stat lines probably in the game. Not the best, but one of the best. They're all above average. 7 health. That goes a long way with this defense stat line. Threat 5. Size 2 moves medium. Like I said, when I look at this right here, I'm like, hell yeah. Like, this is a 5 threat. Okay? This is a 5 threat. And she's, I mean, on pay to flip, she's going to be awesome. Surviving, she's going to be awesome. I don't know what's not to love here. Everything here is fantastic to me. I don't know what people are. I mean, there's people on the internet saying they're not impressed with Carol. I don't know what they're looking at. This is impressive. Let's just get into the attacks. Range 4, 5 dice, energy attack. After attack resolved, this character gains power equal damage dealt. Wild Pursuit. Before damage is dealt, you can advance towards the character small. Pretty cool. She has a pursuit. She has a way to get closer to you. I don't know if you... I mean, maybe you want to. I don't know, but that's up to you. The pursuit trigger is pretty good. Sonic Boom. Physical attack. Range 3, 6 power. Notice none of this costs a power. We're going to get into that in a minute. She's the most unique character in this game to date. No power cost. Physical attack. After this attack is resolved, you gain power equal to damage dealt. So both of these attacks give you power. And we're going to get into why here in a minute. Wild concussive. I've never liked concussive. I never thought it was any good in the game. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll just try it with this character and see what happens. I've never really been. Sap is just so much better, right? Sap is just a better wild trigger than concussive. I mean, you just lose a power. I mean, I've never been a fan of concussive. Energy enhanced absorption. When this character is defending against energy and mystic attacks, for each wild in the defense roll, it may change one of the attacker's crit, wild, or hit results to a blank. This character gains 1 power for each die change in this way. Now, this is, I think old Carol has this too. You're telling yourself, oh, well, then you just don't hit her with energy or mystic attacks, and then you just hit her with physical attacks. Okay, that's cool. And that's the way to get around this. But, you know, if you're playing against Guardians and all they have are energy attacks, you know, teams like that, she's going to be feasting on a lot of power. Or they're just going to ignore her, right? But if they ignore her, she's going to be gaining power and doing her crazy shenanigans that we're going to be going into in a second. But this is really cool. You know, this is just whatever she has, right? This is just added on, right? This is another way for her to gain power. Higher, further, faster. Now, this is the new thing that the new Carol can do. At the start of this character's activation, if it has 6 or more power, you transform into binary. So now they got rid of the whole pay 5 power, turn into binary. Now it's just built into her the minute she has 6 power or more. Now, if you're playing with affiliations that can net her power, or if you're taking damage, or if you're getting damage off of her attacks, whatever. However you're deciding to gain power, the minute you get to 6, you automatically transform. Now, with transform, you place within 1, and then you turn into, and then you place the new character down. So that's that's range 1 placement, which is crazy. And then you turn to binary. We're gonna go into binary form in a second. What it does, because it's like kind of like the opposite. So, you know, this is really interesting. This is really, really cool. And the reason why I think this is cool, and the other thing is you got to think about it. What other character might be like this? And if they ever release a Phoenix character, I think this is the route they're going to go. And that's really exciting to me because it's like now you can go from Phoenix to Dark Phoenix if that's the way they choose to use the Phoenix, right? If they ever release her as a character. I think this is really cool. And I think this is another way to handle the transform mechanic. And this is really interesting. When this character is dealt damage by an enemy effect, after the effect is resolved, it gains 1 power. So now, listen to what I just said. So energy absorption, right? You gain an extra power if you get hit with energy or mystic attacks. Okay, cool. So now I'll just hit you with physical attacks. Okay, you hit me with physical attacks. Now I have another way to get power, right? So if I take a damage, I gain a power plus whatever damage you did to me. So I'm going to get the 6 power, no problem, right? This is without like using affiliation shenanigans like Magneto's terrain destruction or the Inhumans passing power or whatever, right? Like the point is like there's another way for her to gain power outside of just the energy absorption and take, she has ways to get there. So that's what makes her really interesting. So she has flight, immunity, incinerate, and poison, which is awesome. She's amazing on Demons Downtown. Like who wouldn't want that? So the injured side for Carol, everything stays the same health. I mean, this is a lot of health to chew through. Still keeps the same defense dice. Everything pretty much stays the same. It is what it is. Now let's get to binary. Binary is bananas. Okay? Absolutely bananas. Keeps everything the same stat-wise. After the attack resolve, this character... So let's get to the binary blast. Range 2. 6 power cost, 1 power for the attack. Now you're sitting here thinking to yourself, wait a minute, like, why is she spending power on the binary side? Well, that's where, because remember, she wasn't spending power for her attacks because she wants to get to the power. Now you're playing her on this side, she's bananas, right? So now you're spending power on her attacks, and she's a totally different character. So after this attack resolved, this character pushes the target character small. She has a sizeless push, and there's no trigger for it for 1 power cost. That's insane. On a wild, you gain an incinerate, okay, and that's a range 2 attack. Warbird, let's get into her spender here. Range 3, 8 dice. And by the way, these are energy attacks. So 8 dice, 3 power cost. After this attack is resolved, place this character within 2 of the target character. So she gets a placement within 2 of the target character. She just gets in your face just like that from a range 3 attack. Okay, crazy. On a wild, is a throw. After this attack result, this character may throw the target character small. Again, a sizeless throw on a wild. And it throws small. Like, that's crazy. Like, she has a sizeless throw. Let's get to the explosive. Before damage is dealt, other enemy characters within 2 of the target characters suffer 1 damage. Yeah, it's just you know, you can do 1 damage to a whole bunch of characters within 2 of the enemy character, and then, you know, whatever. It's splash damage. Pretty good. I'm just getting warmed up. 2 power costs. Choose an interactive terrain feature or enemy character both size 4 or less within 2. Throw out medium. She has Hulk's throw. So she has a whole bunch of displacement in this form. She has Hulk's throw. She can place within 2. Like, what's not to like about binary form? Like, the binary form is insane. So now we get to the rest of this, and this costs 2 power. Let's get to the rest of the stuff here. Ready or not, she has a no power cost charge. Like, so you're not spending power on the charge. Gets you in range. You can spend the power, do the builder, right? Granted, you're not gaining any power from the attack at all, because the point of this form is to spend the power, right? And to basically do all the crazy shenanigans that you're doing. So the other side is gaining you power. This side, it's losing you power. And basically, it's just that's just the way she works. And what she's doing for the power that she's spending, I mean, for 3 power costs, I can charge, do a range 3 Warbird. Like, like, that's insane. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, this is so interesting. I don't need a power to kick your butt. Let's read this. No power cost. When this character spends or loses power after the effect is resolved, if this character has 3 or less power, it may use a superpower. So it may use this superpower. Okay, this character transforms into Captain Marvel, Cosmic Avenger. So you can stay here in binary form because it says may. You don't have to use the superpower to get back to regular form. But you might see a situation where, hey, listen, I might need a little bit of extra distance to get to a character. What do I mean by that? So you can go ahead, charge, do your thing. If you get to 3 power, okay, cool. What you could do is you can transform back to Carol, and then once you transform, you can place within 1, and then from there you can do maybe her range 4 attack or whatever the case may be. Let's say you roll the nuts and get to 6 power. Okay, cool. You can transform back into Carol again, and then do another range 1 placement. And just the amount of distance that she's covering is absolutely insane if you think about it that way. I'm not saying that's how you use it optimally. I'm just saying that's an option. But yeah, so you may transform. So then you just transform into Captain Marvel normal. Enhanced energy absorption, we just saw that what that does. Energy attacks, you know, whatever, gain power, whatever. On this side, she's just bananas. She's immune to incinerate, poison, stagger, stun. So she can't be stunned. She can't be staggered. She can't be incinerated. She can't get poisoned. So this side is just bananas. It's absolutely bananas. And the people that are down on this, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. You guys really need to read this card and really look at her again and just think of all the strategies you can do. She's probably the most unique character with the transformability in the game, in my opinion, right now. She's awesome. And I can't wait to play her when I get a chance. And I didn't get a chance to play her at all, the demo. So it is what it is. Captain America, I was very, very impressed with him. He's a totally different way to play the character. He feels like Captain America to me this time around. I wasn't a fan of old Cap. I know his leadership is really cool and all that, but the shield throwing thing, which wasn't my speed. This one feels like he's Captain America, and he's actually pretty damn fun. 443 for the stat line, 6 health, threat 4, size 2, moves medium. Has a shield bounce after the attack resolved, and it is range 3 and 5 dice, no power cost. You gain power to do damage dealt. Wild hit. After this attack is resolved, you may make an additional shield bounce. So this is basically like another shield throw. It has to target someone within 3, and then you don't get the bounce rule again. You ask yourself, well, it's a wild hit, man. I mean, I'm probably not going to hit this off. We'll get to his leadership in a second. Brooklyn Brawler. Range 3, 5 power cost. 5 dice, 4 power cost. Add dice to the roll equals to the target size. So this attack is probably going to be attacking size 3 and above. You know, like your, Malekiths, whatever, Hulk, whatever. You're going to be attacking big boys with this attack. So it gets you to effectively 8 to 9 dice, which is pretty damn good. On a crit, after this attack is resolved, the target character is size 3 or less. May push the target away small. That's pretty damn good. On a wild hit block, frontliner, after this attack is resolved, this character may make an additional Brooklyn Brawler attack without paying the power cost. The additional attack must target a different character. This is just, then the attack doesn't have the frontliner rule, so you can't just constantly spam it. So, yeah, so he can be doing a lot of attacks a turn, you know, because of his leadership, and then we're going to get to that in a second. Really good spender, really good attack. I like the new Steve and what the direction they chose for him. They wanted to be like a brawler, like, you know, how Steve is, and I think they nailed it with him with these 2 attacks here. And well, let's get to the leadership, which I thought was bananas and one of the most crazy things in leaderships in the game. Earth's Mightiest Heroes Affiliation Avengers. Once per turn, when an allied character is attacking during the modified dice step, if there are 1 or more hit results in the attack roll, you can spend 1 power. If it does, it changes one of its results to any other result. My God. You're going to be rolling hits. I mean, hits are most likely what you're going to be rolling in an attack roll. You could then spend a power and then change any of the results to anything you want. So that's where pulling off these triggers is going to be really easy for you. Any characters that have like real, you know, like triggers like on a wild hit or whatever the case may be are going to love this leadership. Another character that's going to love this leadership, and he's in affiliation, is Luke Cage. On his builder, Wild gives you a stagger. So all you got to do is roll a hit and a wild and a roll, and then spend the power, gain the wild, get the stagger. Like, he turns on a lot of other characters, like triggers that are, you know, pretty difficult to pull off and all that stuff. Characters I think of are honorable mentions that I like under this leadership are going to be like Medusa, Thor, Luke Cage. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, this leadership felt really good, and thank God it's once per turn. If this was not once per turn, this leadership would be just, oh my God, it'd be toxic probably. Charge. So this is the other cool thing about Steve. He has a charge, so he can move in, do his shield bounce attack, and then just, you know, because the whole point of this character is to get in and just like attack you. Really good. He has a charge, and then perfect block. He adds 2 defense to his dice roll, so they gave that to him from old Steve. I think they did a really good job with this character. He actually feels like Steve Rogers to me this time around, and I had a lot of fun playing this character. Shield bounce. So we get to the injured side. He goes down to health, but he gets, I can do this all day. I figured he was going to be getting this. So on this side, he's like tankier, basically. He shouldn't be dying, you know, and he's going to be adding dice to his defense roll. So he should be alive for a long time on this side. Yeah, maybe they'll daze him on his healthy side, but when you get to the injured side, he should be just as tanky as Steve is in the game currently. And I'm really, really, really impressed with all, like, these 3 characters. I didn't get a chance to play with Captain Marvel at all, but I'm really impressed with the Corsair characters so far. It feels refreshing, right? It feels like a whole new day. The one leadership that I thought was bananas was Red Skull's leadership. Now, granted, I don't think they talk about Red Skull here in the panel to play. Maybe they do. No, they don't. So I can just talk about it right now. Thank God for both these leaderships, for Steve's and Red Skull's. Thank God they're both once per turn. I swear to you, like every roll that Tim had, there was a failure in there. He was able to pop it to a crit. I mean, it's insane. Every time Tim rolled dice or whatever, I'm like, thank God this is once per turn, because if it wasn't once per turn, wow, like the efficiency characters would have to just drop characters with that leadership, especially with this one too. Insane. So shout outs to AMG for, I think, properly balancing those 2 leaderships. They're still really good, and they're fun to play. That's the best part. They're fun, and I had a really good time playing the game. So, yeah, those are my overall thoughts so far on the characters they talk about here in Atomic Mass Games and on the panel to play. My experiences at Gen Con, all that stuff. Let me know your thoughts down below about all 3 of these characters. And were you at Gen Con? Did you play the demo? Did you feel the same way I did? Let me know your thoughts on down below. Of course, comment, like, subscribe, do all those things y'all got to do. Of course, I'm going to have more Marvel Crisis Protocol content. And like I said, I think daily they're going to be talking about characters, it looks like, which is really exciting. So maybe I'll just, as they release the characters, I'll talk about them, and then we'll just, or maybe I'll just wait for a bunch of them to come out, and I could just talk about all of them in one video. I think that'd be the way to go. But yeah, guys, definitely, guys, thank you guys very much. Like I said, comment, like, subscribe, do all those things y'all got to do. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Take care.